Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And today we are moving on to chapter 6 of Twilight, which is Scary Stories. So if you haven't read it and you want to, now's your time.
It is. Before we get too deep into it, just a reminder, you can find us at TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram, though we never post there. The handle for all of them is at Chaos Chronicles Podcast, and that's Chronicles with an S. We appreciate a like and subscribe.
Yes. Awesome. Well, you ready to jump in?
Yes.
All right. So, chapter 6, Scary Stories. We are picking up right where we left off in chapter 5. So, Bella is home waiting for her truck to be dropped off after Edward brings her home from her near fainting episode.
She doesn't like blood, and they're doing blood testing in class.
Yeah. Little sensitive, but that's okay.
It's okay.
That's okay. So Bella's truck just magically appears. She didn't hear anything, just magically appears in the driveway. Not suspicious. So she goes back to school the next day and gets some jokes about her almost fainting, of course. Mike didn't chime in about Edward's involvement at all. Jessica asks Bella at lunch what Edward wanted the day prior. Jessica seems more annoyed that Edward seems interested in her as he only ever sits with his family. Edward is not at school today, just like he had said, but Bella gets sad when she thinks of how long it'll be again until she gets to see him. Which I get, but also, he's a dick.
You're like, I get it, but not really.
Yeah. I know 3 days seems like a long time, but he's a dick. At lunch, Bella notices that Lauren is giving her a few unfriendly glances at lunch and is confused. When they get up to leave, Bella is behind Mike and Lauren, who don't seem to notice that she's there, because Lauren tells Mike that she doesn't understand why she, as in Bella, doesn't just sit with the Cullens now. Mike defends her and says that she sits with them. Bella, sits with them.
I don't remember Lauren.
Lauren?
I don't remember Lauren very well, and I think it's probably because she's not a girl's girl, and I was like, don't want to pay attention.
She is not. That, like, in the beginning, some unfriendly glances, like, okay, sometimes they're in your head. Sometimes they are. I will admit it. Sometimes I think people are giving me dirty looks and they're 100% not. But saying that, really?
I don't like that.
Really?
Yeah. Cafeteria politics, I don't miss that. Like, I was so grateful when I started doing PSEO junior and senior year of high school, because I was like, I get to go to college over the lunch hour and, like, I don't have to deal with this. It sucked.
There was, like, no politics for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
But it was always, like, during our band, except for senior year, because band was the last class. But, like, it was always over band. And so, like, it was always, like, 4 of us that would just hang out.
Yeah, no. See,
there was no, like, cliquey tables at my high school.
There was totally cliquey tables at mine. Like, there was enough overlap where it wasn't like you weren't friends with someone. Like, I had friends in pretty much every single group, or, like, people that I was friendly with. And that wasn't a problem, but, like, we didn't necessarily sit together. But a lot of the issues started in middle school because for whatever reason, they decided that instead of the long lunch tables or even the tables with the movable chairs, we got tables that had attached chairs. So there was 8 stools per table. My friend group had 9 of us. And you got in trouble if you were double seating. Yeah, I know. It's so stupid.
Do you guys have, like, round tables? Yeah. Oh, we just had really long rectangles.
We had that prior, but then the middle school was remodeled the year before I went there, and so the new middle school cafeteria had the round tables. And then high school, we also had round tables, but that had chairs. So you could at least like move it, but there was only so much room. And like if you had too many people at a table, and I put that in quotes because it was an arbitrary number that changed all the time, then you would be told that people had to move.
It was so weird. Yeah, we just had the long rectangles with the attached little stool things to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we ever had. You could have as many people as you want because one person per stool, just spread out.
No, yeah, they were way too picky. Actually, honestly, a lot of my issues with eating super fast came from that because I was like, I know I'm gonna get kicked out of this friend table. So I need to make sure that I either wait and don't eat until like the last 5 minutes. I'm the last person to go through line, whereas like the ninth person has already started eating elsewhere, and so I can go get food quick, come back and eat super super fast. Or I would just not eat lunch. Like I didn't eat lunch most of ninth and 10th grade, or I'd go up to the snack bar and I'd get like maybe cookies, maybe fruit, and then I'd eat that.
Yeah.
And then my mom's like, why are you always so hungry when you come home? Because I'd come home and I'd go right for the bathroom to go pee because no one likes school bathrooms. And then I would also go right to the fridge and I'd just inhale whatever I could.
Yep.
Yet not a
Nope.
good time.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
I survived.
Yeah. Cafeterias. So
yeah. So Lauren's not a girl's girl. Sorry.
Lauren is not a girl's girl. Yeah, so Mike defends her, saying that Bella sits with them, and then Bella hung back after that because she was beyond done listening to that conversation, which I don't blame her.
I can see you being that person to be like, all right, I'm done.
No, I probably would have continued to listen and be like, what else are you going to say?
I am nosy that way. I would do the same.
I am very nosy.
Same. I've gotten very, I don't know if this is a skill I should brag about. I've gotten real good at eavesdropping, where like my auditory processing on a normal day, as you know, is laggy at best. But when I am eavesdropping, oh, I got super hearing. It is so good. And I'm so good at like sneakily, stealthily walking up to listen to my parents when they were talking. I figured out all the squeaky floorboard parts. Yeah.
Oh.
Not great. I didn't. There were some conversations I really shouldn't have overheard.
Yeah. Live and learn.
Exactly. Did I? Because I kept doing it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The good outweighed the bad at that time.
I was a nosy little shit. I am a nosy little shit. Proud. Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, so when Bella gets home, Charlie is excited about her trip on Saturday. And of course, being sheriff, he knows everyone who's going and everyone that they're related to. Charlie seems to approve of everyone that's going and wonders what he would think of her taking a trip to Seattle with Edward. Thinking of Edward, Bella asks her dad about goat rocks. Goat rocks? That wasn't what I wrote for last.
Rote point or something, or
rote rocks. Okay, is it rote rocks or is it goat rocks? Uh-oh.
I don't think it's goat.
Is it? Wow, you were right about the one time I bring the book. I'm gonna need it. I'm so glad I brought it today. No, it's goat rocks.
As in goat?
Yeah.
I'm impressed with that impression. Good job, Connie.
Yeah. All right, so it is indeed goat rocks. So last week's episode, I apologize for saying rote rocks or something.
Very Scooby-Doo of you. Ruh-roh.
Oh gosh, yeah. So Bella asks Charlie about it to see if he knows it because some people are talking about going camping there. Charlie says that there's a lot of bears, so it's not an ideal place to camp. Most people go there for hunting. Hint, hint, wing, wing, nudge, nudge, I'm assuming. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Bella shrugged it off, saying that she must have misheard them. No, you did not. The next day, Bella met up with Mike, Tyler, Eric, Ben, Connor, Jessica, Angela, and Lauren at Newton's Olympic Outfitters store before they left. There were 3 girls standing with Jessica, Angela, and Lauren, one who gave her a dirty look and then whispered something to Lauren.
I don't remember these other girls. And I think in the movie they only show Angela, Bella, and Jessica going to La Push, and then with the boys.
Yeah, so I guess there's 3 additional girls.
Oh yeah, I don't remember them.
Aside from Lauren.
Obviously, I didn't like them enough to remember.
That's fine. Not memorable. Mike seemed happy to see her at least and promised Bella that she can ride shotgun. They shoved a bunch of kids in Mike's car, and in the front was Mike, Bella, and Jessica squished between them. Luckily, it was only a 15-mile drive. Which that sounds a little awkward, but that's okay.
I think if I recall correct, doesn't he have like a van with bench seats?
I think so. I believe so. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's the only way that's going to really work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could see that. So they arrived at a beautiful beach, and Mike sets up a driftwood fire, and it's a blue flame. I didn't believe this, so I looked it up. It's actually a legit thing.
Yeah, from the salt.
Yeah, that is so cool. And then...
Girls trip? Go make some blue flames?
Yeah. And then we could try this out too, maybe. Potentially if this is around. So fun fact, applewood, when it's aged 4 to 5 years, will burn a rainbow color.
Ooh.
Cool.
That is cool. How did they find that out? They'd be like keeping track of the years on this tree, and when it burns, it does this.
Yeah, well, the more you know.
The more you know.
But Bella decided to join half of the group that she proclaimed to be the pro-hiking group and finds tidal pools.
That would be cool. I would like to do
that.
Those
would be cool. Yeah. Yes. So tidal pools.
So tidal pools is one, and then the other half of the group, they are surfing, right?
They're just hanging out. They don't specify what they're going to do. They just didn't want to go hiking.
Gotcha. Because I know in the movies they've got wetsuits on. But instead of going with the group heading out into the water, Bella stays on shore, and that's when she starts talking to Jacob.
Yeah, so, okay. So we're not quite to that yet. So she's with the tidal pools. She's very cautious around the pods. The others were fearless and were leaping over rocks and leaning on edges, which no. But everything was fine for them. Bella finds a stable area and sits to take in the natural aquarium below her. As she was taking in her surroundings, she wondered what Edward was doing and what he would be thinking about if he was with her. Who cares? Anyways, they made their way back to eat lunch, and there were a few people from the reservation who joined them. Among them is Jacob Black. And he says that her dad bought his dad's truck. Bella thinks that she should remember him, but he said that he's the youngest in the family, so she would probably remember one of his sisters. Then she recalls her time with Rachel and Rebecca from when she was younger. Neither of the sisters are here. Rachel's in college and Rebecca got married and now lives in Hawaii.
I totally forgot he had sisters. Sorry.
Can't remember everything.
No, I do like vaguely remember that a little. Girl, after this, I have to show you the clip of when Bella and Jacob are having their first little meet in the Vampire Suck parody movie. I gotta show you. It's so dumb. I love it.
All right. Jacob and Bella joke about her car, and we learn that Jacob builds cars in his free time. Jacob gives Bella a brilliant smile, and then across the fire, Lauren interjects, because of course she does, with an insolent tone and asks if anyone invited the Cullens family. Jacob seems to know who they are and quickly says that they don't come here, in a way that closed the subject, and Tyler did his best to distract Lauren.
So Lauren sucks.
Lauren sucks. She's
Oh,
just like,
I do remember her now a little.
she seems to be one of those like jealous girls that if other people are getting attention or whatever, it's like, oh, that girl is awful. No one talk to her. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh,
Don't
I totally
be a
know.
Lauren.
Don't be Lauren. I totally remember people where like one person would get a part in band or like they would get moved to first chair and someone else would be like, oh, I mean, obviously that's going to happen because, they are on such good terms with the band teacher.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one or two instances I remember some stuff like that. But I just remember in those moments being like, ooh, honey, I don't think you realize how bad what you just said made you look. Yeah, don't try to bring somebody else down. No matter how clever you think you're being, it reflects back on you 80 times worse.
Yeah, the only time I ever like knocked someone down a peg was in band, and that's because she got moved to first chair flute, but she was just like being so high and mighty and cocky about it for everything. Like she'd be like, oh, this song's a little hard, but don't worry, I can play it, but other people might have issues. And like stuff like that.
Ooh, see, it's one thing to be like, hey, this was a hard song.
No, she
But,
would say it very condescending, like,
ooh,
and she
we
wouldn't
don't
say
like
it to us. She would say it to the band teacher in front of us. And that, yeah, so she was that person.
She was a Lauren.
Yeah.
Sorry if your name is Lauren and you're really sweet. I understand. There's some people that share my name that I really, really wish didn't.
Yeah. I feel you. There are a lot of Jessicas. And there's one in here, so
yeah, she's not bad.
She's not bad so far.
She's actually coming off better in the book than she does in the movie. Okay. They're pulling a little bits of the Lauren character into Jessica in the movie.
They might not have wanted to cast another person and just decided to mesh them into one person.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right, so
Tyler distracts, but we know that the Cullens do not go to La Push.
Yep.
Or the res.
So Bella tried to imitate how Edward talks to her and invites Jacob to walk down to the beach with her. We learned that Jacob just turned 15, which shocked me. He's 2 years younger than Bella.
I knew he was younger, but it's weird that he's 15.
15.
Hold the front friggity door, because the timeline of the series is only about 2, maybe 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. Because I believe the final book takes place, we don't have an exact timeline.
So he's only really 17 in the last book then.
17, maybe 18.
Which, and I'm probably sounding like I know what happens. I really don't, other than they just get married.
No.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, this is just weird to me that he's young.
He's 15.
Okay, actually, in light of what happens in the second and the third books, that does make sense. He uses 15, 16-year-old boy logic.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Wow, I forgot he was 15.
Yeah, so he's 15.
That makes all the weird fanfics that older women wrote so
weirder,
much worse.
Yeah, now I'm like thinking this big Team Edward, Team Jacob, like, I remember, no, it's awkward. And again, when you're out of high school, when you're in like your late 20s or beyond, it doesn't matter. But these ages are so dramatically different that it's
more
weird.
like 20 years instead of 2 years.
Yeah.
Like developmentally and where everything else is at.
Yeah.
But again, my face was like stuck in the horrified position because again, grown adults. And these are okay, like I get simping over Edward. We didn't have simping back then, but like simping. I get it a little bit more because he is actually a grandpa, so you got some gilf stuff going on that you got to figure out. Technically his age, yeah.
Oh, I guess, yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't. I wasn't.
No, he doesn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm like, what do I not know?
No. He's technically, I think, like 87 or something. So,
Okay.
like, okay, I can get that, like, a little bit more. Still weird. Jacob is 15. He
15.
can't even have a license. I cannot rate him on car insurance. And you are creepily doing weird things. Okay. We're just gonna lock that one up.
Yeah. Now, if it was the other way around, would we be saying the same things? I don't. Yeah,
Like, if it was
maybe.
a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, if someone's simping for a 15-year-old girl? I still find it
No,
weird.
no. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. I can't form words to say what I mean.
If she was 87. Oh, well, we think it was as weird if she was the vampire, the old one, and he was the young one.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd find it weirder if it was that way, because normally when older women go for much younger guys, that's a power dynamic thing. And not that older guys going for younger girls isn't a power dynamic, but it's more of like an ego boost, a confidence thing most of the time. And it's almost, I don't want to say acceptable, but it's not as uncommon. Where like Hugh Jackman and his wife just got divorced not that long ago, and she was 20 years older than him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that big of it. I knew there was an age difference.
It was either 16 or 20 years. Yeah, like it was quite a gap, and everyone thought it was just so,
normal.
weird.
Mm.
But guys are also, and I'm generalizing here, but guys tend to be less mature. And I think that's why I also find it weird to go much younger.
Mm-hmm.
Like that just, I don't know. All of this is weird.
Yeah. So Jacob just turned 15, but he is tall for his age, apparently. That doesn't make up for anything, but Bella probes for information on why the Cullens don't come here. He said that they aren't supposed to be on the reservation and that he wasn't supposed to say anything about that, and changes the subject by telling her a scary, quote, legend of his people, the wolves and the cold ones.
I do gotta say, that is a great name from a PR perspective. Like, oh yeah, the cold ones. That's creepy sounding.
Yeah, I do like it.
That.
I do like it.
Because they're the, ooh, I am going to mispronounce this. Apologies to everyone who listens. Because Jacob's tribe is the Quilead?
I don't know.
They also have a cool name, and I just can never pronounce it. Like infinitesimal.
That one. If you don't know what we're talking about, go check out our last episode.
I just can't say words.
Same, clearly. So, going to this legend. According to some legends, Jacob's great-grandfather knew some of them, and he was the one who made the treaty that kept them off their land. Now these wolves are what we call werewolves, and they only have one enemy, which is the cold ones. The pack of cold ones who came to their territory during the time of his great-grandfather weren't supposed to be dangerous to the tribe, so he signed a truce with them. There is always a risk for humans to be around the cold ones, even if they are as civilized as these ones were. You don't know when they'll become too hungry to resist. Jacob clarifies that by civilized, he means that these cold ones claim that they didn't hunt humans, and they somehow were able to prey off of animals instead. Bella asks if the Cullens are like the cold ones that his great-grandfather knew, and Jacob says no, they're the same ones. He adds that there are more now. They gained a female and a male, but the rest are the same.
Oh, they give more details in the book, because in the movie, I'm remembering that scene better, but Bella does ask, like, oh, do you think it's like the same ones? And Jacob basically goes, it's a story, Bella. And like it's very brushing off, and like you can tell that he doesn't really believe his dad's stories.
Interesting.
So it's interesting that we're getting more here.
We are getting a lot more, apparently. All right, so what are the cold ones? Blood drinkers, otherwise known as vampires. Jacob points out her goosebumps, and Bella says that he is a good storyteller. Jacob jokes that he just violated the treaty, and Bella says that she will take it to the grave. Jacob says not to tell Charlie any of this, though, as he has gotten mad at Jacob's dad when he has heard some of them weren't going to the new hospital when Dr. Cullen arrived. So I guess that's where some of that hatred, or do you remember the fuming in our first episode of this? That I'm like, why is Charlie so protective?
Defensive of the Cullens? Yep. I know, that's what I
where
was
this
like.
comes in.
Part of it, yes. There was also, I guess, some rumors in the town, if I recall correctly, just because he looks so young.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he does.
Which, yeah, as me starting being a paramedic when I was 19. I was 19 when I was in paramedic school, 18 and 19. And then finally got my license when I turned 20. But like, I was a paramedic and I was a 20-year-old. That a lot of people are like, you look young. And I'm like, well, I graduated. I did this, so you can trust me.
Define young. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Especially when I was a supervisor at the water park. And I would get the middle-aged parents. They're like, you don't even look like you know what you're doing. I was like, well, no, thank you. I do have the experience here. I wore a fake wedding ring for a while to try to convince people I was older.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
Yeah. It worked a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
Did help cut down on some of the creepiness a little.
Yeah. It does help.
Not completely, but...
No, but it does help. So Mike interrupts Jacob and Bella. Jacob asks if Mike was her boyfriend, and Bella whispers to him, no, definitely not, and winked at him when Mike was out of view. Again with the winking. But that's kind of funny, though.
It's kind of, but also I'm just laughing that she's trying to pull these Edward seduction tips out on this poor 15-year-old boy who is already just puppy-eyed all over her. I'm like, oh.
Now Bella's being manipulative.
She's had a couple manipulative moments throughout the series where I'm like, okay, on a scale of 1 to Edward, you're at like maybe a 5 or 6, but
still.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, good. I finally finished a cup of tea. Well, minus whatever got spilled from the last dog interaction.
So Jacob starts to say when he gets his license, but Bella cuts him off and says that he should come see her in Forks. She feels guilty for using him, but she does like Jacob, and he seems like he is someone that she could easily be friends with. Mike reaches them asking where Bella had been, and then after reassessing the situation, he tells Bella that they're packing up as it looks like it's gonna rain. Mike, chill out. Chill out, dude.
I get some of Jessica's I don't even know if it's animosity towards Bella. Maybe some of her brashness, bristling. I don't know. There's a word for this that I just can't think of at the moment. But like, I get where she's coming from because I could totally see it in high school. There's a guy you like, and you've always liked him, and the new girl comes in, and he's all like puppy-eyed over new girl when he had probably been puppy-eyed over you before. I can see that being a little like, I know you didn't do anything wrong and like you're not seeking it out, but I'm also kind of still like frustrated.
I can see it, but like,
not excusing, but I can see it.
No, yeah, like explains but doesn't excuse.
Yes, explains but doesn't excuse.
Yeah, that's another one of our common sayings here. Explains but won't excuse.
That's a good thing to get through life with.
Yes. Jacob says it was nice to see her again just to taunt Mike, and she says next time Charlie visits Billy, she will come along too. They make their way back to Mike's car, and everything is loaded up. Bella crawls in the back with Angela and Tyler. Everyone was occupied, so Bella laid back and closed her eyes and tried very hard to not think. End of chapter 6.
I have never understood trying to like retreat into solace in a crowded car, but that's also because I haven't been in too many crowded cars, and when I have, it's not been for long trips. It's been the short trips, and everyone is talking and yelling or music or catching up. Like, it's not what.
So when I went on mission trips, we would, cram in cars,
Mhm.
and unless we were sleeping, like, we're all talking or playing games or doing something.
Yeah, it's not often that you go like full solitary.
No.
I mean, sometimes.
Well, do you have any other comments about our
It's
chapter 6?
refreshing to not have Edward in it.
It is.
It's refreshing to have Bella driving the plot.
Yep.
Where she is making decisions, she's able to see stuff through, not being pulled, carried elsewhere by Edward.
Yeah, we can find her point of view on things, and we don't go off on tangents about red flags every 2 seconds, because
there wasn't as much in this one.
No, honestly, Bella was kind of a red flag.
She was kind of a red flag. Also, if we want to talk red flags, I want to know who put Kristen Stewart in the hat that she was in for this scene in the movie, because like it just looked bad. I remember I'm like, no, the colors are contrasting, so she looks like she's got pallor and not in a good way in her face, and then the hat.
She's supposed to be pale.
No, like sick pale.
Oh, so like the last chapter pale?
Basically, because it's just washing her out. And then, with the, I know your brother Matt has worn so many of the hats where it's like here and then boop, and the top,
those big snapbacks with the flat brims that just pop on your head.
This one's the hat. Not the snapback.
Oh, the bucket hats?
Not the bucket hat. Like the stereotypical cold weather hat that's got a little puffy at the top.
Oh.
But then it's usually super long so that you have to like pull it down and usually like wrap it up once around. I don't know what to call that.
Just a beanie beanie? What is it called? A slouch beanie?
Yeah, but not even slouch, because it like stays up top if you don't pull it down. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yes.
Because I've made those ones.
So the thing was, they put her in one of those, but when you wear those, fashion tip real quick, folks, to look better in them, you make sure that you are bringing the brim down to basically your eyebrows, not covering your eyebrows, but right above.
Was it?
Here.
That's like not even on your head. What are you doing?
It wasn't like, I'll have to pull up a screen grab, because I just remember the first time I saw it, it took me out of the movie, because I'm like, why are you wearing it that way?
All right, well, I think this just confirmed that we are going to be doing a Twilight movie reaction.
Watch for the hat. Watch for that, because they don't even fix it, and it just keeps going back. And I'm like, who was the editor in charge of contingency on set that day? Because I'm sorry, honey, do better.
We will do our best to figure out what the special edits are for those movie reaction videos, and that one will probably be an exclusive to YouTube. Yes. So, or if we have Patreon by that time.
Ding, ding, ding.
We've kind of talked about it, but nothing solidified yet.
Yeah, we need more subscribers, so can you spare a subscribe for the poor, please? More subscribe, thank you. Thanks.
Well, with that, we are on YouTube, so please, if you're on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, and leave us a comment below. Tell us what you think of Jacob's story, or how you felt about Edward finally not being in a chapter.
Yeah. What did you think about Bella in this one? Do you think she's a red flag? Do you think this is just girl being girl? What do you think about Lauren? Like, let's talk about Lauren, okay? Yeah. Give us your thoughts, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bella, you forgot the handle.
Oh, yep. We are also, aside from YouTube, we are also on Spotify and TikTok, as well as kind of Instagram.
Kind of.
Maybe one day we'll be better about it. No promises, but it's there.
It's there, and you can find all of it by searching the handle at Chaos Chronicles Podcast, and that's Chronicles with an S.
Yes. Well, until next time.
Adios.
Bye.